My name is Larry McGee, and I'm going to be speaking to you today about the self-control unit, outer self-control unit. We're going to be examining chapter 4, so if you have your books, you can open it to chapter 4. That's where we'll be going. What we're going to be talking about today is applying self-control to interaction and communication. Now, y'all went over the previous 3 chapters. I hope y'all reviewed that, because we're going to ask some questions to kind of jog our memory and make sure we recall all of these different concepts so we can tie them in as we begin to go into this, how we apply self-control to our interaction and our communication with individuals. The first chapter was self-control starts with you, and we learned we had to apply self-control to our thinking, and it's more so about us focusing on ourselves than it is us focusing on somebody else's behavior. Then we also learned about controlling our emotions and controlling our anger. Was the last chapter. Now we're going to tie all of that into how do we use that information to create a peaceful interaction and ensure peaceful communication with other individuals so that we don't produce conflicts and so that those conflicts don't result in everything that we see going on in the world around us today. All right? So, what are conflicts? And are there excuses to become angry? Let's go with that one first. Are conflicts excuses to become angry? You, sir? He says no. Everybody else agree? Yeah, conflicts aren't excuses to become angry. Conflicts just indicate that something has transpired during the course of our interaction, your interaction with him or his interaction with somebody else, that doesn't agree. You don't agree with him, he doesn't agree with you, but that's no reason for either one of you to get angry. And we'll explore that a little bit later as we begin to touch on the fact that each and every single person is unique. People are different. And if people are different, then you can expect at some point in time there's going to be some disagreement. Because by definition, that's what a disagreement is, right? A different opinion about something, or a different take on something, or a different perspective on something. So as opposed to being a reason to get angry, it's actually something that we should realistically expect. And if we have that mindset, it's a lot easier to deal with it positively as opposed to allowing it to get us all riled up. But what are some of the positive ways that we can deal with anger if we do find ourselves, because of the disagreements that arise due to the fact that nobody is exactly alike? Because thoughts go in and out of our minds, remember earlier in some of the previous chapters, at the speed of light. And sometimes we can go from the thinking stage to the emotional stage pretty fast. So you're dealing with the emotion of anger. Anger is a secondary emotion. We know you don't experience that first. That's not the first emotion you experience. There was some frustration. There was some disappointment. There was some aggravation. And that, mishandled, is what results into anger. And that's why it's called a secondary emotion. But that first stage can be pretty rapid. So what we're examining now is, what do you do in the case where you've gone from being frustrated and disappointed very fast and you're angry now? And that is a powder keg. That's an explosive emotion. It's the foundation for aggression and everything we see going on today, with people being hurt physically, people being abusive to each other verbally or emotionally, which is just as powerful, which is just as damaging, which has just as much long-lasting effects on a person as any physical bruise. So if you're angry, what are some positive ways to deal with that anger so that you don't do something that would hurt another individual or hurt yourself? Yes?
You can walk away.
You can walk away. That's a great option.
Or you can stop and think about your options and then proceed with the right choice.
He's definitely a student of the program. Thanks for reading your book. You, sir?
Talk to someone in authority.
You can talk to someone in authority. All of those are great options. So you can use a respectful tone of voice. That's important, to use a respectful tone of voice. That shows respect to the other individual. If nothing else, you're setting the right example. It's something they might not have had up until that point. Use a respectful tone of voice, and you can use respectful words. Respect, by definition, is showing value for another person. If you are disrespectful, and we'll get into that a little bit later also, if you're disrespectful, that devalues a person. It humiliates somebody. Humiliation, if handled